Okay, so it's 4:30, and I've been up for a while. I've changed the whole room around. I swear when you those kinds of things make you feel so good. And I don't know. I think it can be kind of hard and frustrating. I think sometimes people get to a frustrated part and then they just stop, and so then they don't push through, or they don't complete things to get to see like how good it makes you feel, just like the most simplest things. And I don't even know, it was something started coming into my mind, so I went in and changed, my, dressing room. That's what I'm gonna call it, my dressing room. Changed it around, and it's like, "Oh my gosh, I like it so much better," and it seems so much bigger. The way I had it, it seems so much more closed off, and so it's just little things like that. It's so weird. It's so weird how sometimes we just leave everything just the way it is. We don't change anything. We don't change the room around or anything. And changing the room around, it can make you feel like renewed. Like it just feels so much better. And it gets you to clean stuff because you move stuff around. So then you have to clean it. And then it's crazy too, because sometimes just moving something uh, can change everything. It's so weird. And especially, this was something that was popular too. I didn't invent this. I remember hearing about this, but it was like, I don't know. It was back in the 70s or 80s or something. And it was like when people were, it's weird. Because like, why did people all of a sudden get so into decorating their houses? Must have been they were trying to sell something. So they start getting people really into decorating their houses or something. That's weird. But I just remember there being this thing about sometimes just take something from another room and put it into a different room, and it changes the whole vibe. It changes the whole look of the room and stuff. And it was just a thing like that. Like, you don't need to go out and buy a bunch of new stuff. Like, there's always been those two. Maybe the battle between those two things was closer back then. And then it was like humanity chose the path it was going to go, which got it further away because it kept going further and further and further away. Oh, because I was just seeing in the 80s and the 90s how it just became so much about lack of impulse control. Everybody's doing the cocaine and what was that called? Highball? No, shoot. Something where you did like cocaine and heroin together. It's called something. Um, that like people just indulge to the extreme, and sex became so power. Like that was back when like Scarface and stuff. Like when you read like the way that like the movies influence society. It's like they throw something out there and we take off and then they keep it going. So they drive it. They drive the impulse. That's interesting. Kind of like a beach ball going and going and going. So they keep that energy going in the people, which gives more. There's so many things going on because with the dark energy and just all these different things. Like there is this girl. This is one thing I want to talk about. Is this girl who is talking about her grandma who worked on Area 51, and no, her aunt, it was, I think. My son-in-law, it's his uncle who worked for it. And it was funny because they were all laughing at me, saying aliens aren't real and stuff like that. And then they went over to have dinner with his family and came back. And after a conversation that went on over there from the uncle disclosing a bunch of stuff, they came back and said, oh, well, I guess there probably really is. Like, but I don't know. It's so crazy because people just don't listen to people like me. And so, anyways, this girl is talking about all what her aunt told her on her when she was dying. She wanted to make sure to tell people. And so I'm pretty sure it was her aunt. Maybe it's her grandma. I don't know. It was something like that. And so some stuff she said I wanted to say something about. But this other thing is a little. And but some of the stuff she said goes with what I said. So I'm going to talk more about that. But this seems smaller because this is also something I talk about all the time. But about emotional healing. And you can't just heal your physical body. You can't just put your body through. That's your lessons. You know, whatever you do, there's lessons. Whatever you do, there's a flip side. And so this, in this case that this girl was talking about, because this was an anniversary of her sister's death. And so she was talking about her sister and her addiction and stuff. And she had a food addiction and she had an extreme weight problem, I guess, because then she got bariatric surgery or something. I think that's where they shrink your stomach, or what they do is they put in a band and they cut half your stomach off. That does not seem like a good idea. But, and then a lot of people, because they don't heal emotionally, they go right back to the same kind of habits. Instead of dealing with things and having boundaries and being vulnerable, they start stuffing their feelings and they stretch their stomachs back out and they go back into that same kind of gaining weight. And now they've got this extra belly, and this new one is like, this stuff, you got to heal stuff like the proper way. And and I bet you so many more of those people have complications and die and stuff than we ever even know about. Probably just like their families know and stuff. And there's a lot still, I think, with obesity and shame around, especially with extreme obesity and stuff. You know, there's a lot of shame around it, which to me is kind of sad, because I know it has so much to do with emotional pain and trying to hide from it. And so so this lady's sister, she went and got the bariatric surgery. And when you go do these things, all these things, like back a long time ago, even when somebody wanted to transition, they had to go through so much counseling. It was taken very serious. Like, and that was one of the complaints by people who wanted to transition, which was not very many people. And there sure wasn't very many people listening to them. But that they were, that they shouldn't have to jump through all these hoops and stuff like that and go through all this stuff that they would make them do. Some of them, they would go through counseling for a couple years, I think, and then they would say that they weren't okayed for gender reassignment surgery and stuff. Like, it was a lot of hoops that they drove through. Oh yeah, okay, because this other one too, it goes kind of with the other one. Let me think. Okay, so the one with the aunt or the grandma on the deathbed, and this one, okay, I gotta see it clear again. It just came popping in so clear. Because it had to do with the same kind of thing. Alien abduction. Maybe that's what it is. It'll come back through if it, because it, like, things highlight, and that's how those I just follow. So so in this case, so the girl or the woman, she had this obesity problem for her whole life or whatever, probably. And this is the thing too, is like, the people, it's their soul's journey. Like, their soul has already lived when they're birthed into this one. They have a lot of baggage. They're bringing in baggage with them. And people don't know that. Still, I already said now I'm going to do my work, okay? I've already fed them and everything. And she got some medicine and everything, so it should work in a minute and help her to relax. But, I don't know. She's been whining. So, everything is weird, too. Like, one thing, like, why I couldn't sleep good is because everything hurts and stuff so bad in my body. And then when I think, like, well, is it all just the poison and stuff? Because I get, like, fuck, man, goddamn, in this fucking poisoning shit, man. And then, And then I go and do something and it's so loud. Like if I drop a fucking spoon in the sink, I just was putting food in the dog food dishes and it clinked on the dish. It's like ceramic, and so the metal spoon clicked on the ceramic dish. Oh my God. It still is hurting in my ear. It was so fucking loud. I couldn't believe it. Everything is so loud. And so that is where I start feeling like, okay, it's got to be our atmosphere and our environment. It's got to be a part of the energy switching or something. And this loudness, man, it's so fucking loud. And but that, I mean, it could be some from a side effect from poisoning, creating some neurological thing. And I know they're doing weird shit. Like, I don't know. There's a lot of people thinking they're about to take over the people that have this. I can't sit there and stress about that stuff. Is that you stress out, like you just start thinking about it and feeding the energy and what if this and what if that. It's like I just gotta wait and see whatever plays out. It's like, I'm here for it, so obviously, I gotta deal with it. Like, so so anyways, everything is super, super loud. And I'm super uncomfortable. It's super hard to sleep. So if you're having a bunch of issues like that, and I mean, the dogs are having issues too. Max was up puking in the middle of the night. Well, it wasn't the middle of the night. I was dead ass asleep though, but it was like 9:30. But anyways, he has been puking. Stella's been whining, but that's like nothing new. I'm trying to move this little thing so she can get closer, because sometimes she just wants to be closer. Okay, you can come right here, honey. So anyways, and freaking Archie's got a constant runny nose. And all the dogs have started making these like little coughs and sneezes and stuff. I know that there's bullshit. I know there's allergens, whatever the fucking chemical compound bullshit that is. So, I know that, oh my gosh, in this part on my chest, I do not know what the fuck. Well, oh my God, I cannot believe how much it hurts. And I keep putting castor oil with that DMSO stuff, or DSMO, whatever it is it's supposed to be good for arthritis too. So I keep rubbing it on there. I don't know. Keeps making me feel like, man, is this like some kind of a tear in a mud? Like the thing is you can feed into that energy and create that thing. And so I have to keep pulling back from that and keep going out of like, it's not even flesh and blood, dude. You're fine. You're fine. Just work it out. Work it out. Go back to your, what are you supposed to be dealing with? What is this showing you? What is this you're supposed to be seeing? And back to that with this lady. And so she was, so she got the bariatric surgery and she lost a bunch of weight. And I guess this is common. This is what her sister's saying, that after they leave the food addiction, they just switch to a new addiction. So her sister switched to alcohol addiction, and she was dead within 5 years and of the surgery. But this is the thing, is like, you have to heal your emotional wounds, what got you in the place you were. You can't override that shit. People think like, this is how backwards people think. People think, well, if I lose weight, I'll feel better about myself, and then I'll be able to be a better person and go out into the world like that. Instead of thinking like, I've got some kind of issue that is causing me to have these problems, and that you have to heal those things, because that's what's going to bring in the people that you want around you. Like some of them, like I had seen some of these women who have done these extreme weight losses, and some of them, they start getting all in like, into clothes, or get into, which is a distraction. If you're not healed, if you're just not healing your stuff, if you're just jumping from, surgery that made you pretty, now you feel more confident because now you don't feel so fat. So now you feel better about yourself, and you want to dress cute, and you want to go out and date and stuff like that, but you still have emotional problems, and those are going to keep firing off. You're going to keep hitting into problems. And not only that, you are pulling in the vibration of the people who are the same as you. So you're pulling in the vibration of people who also have issues. And so then people who have issues, who also have issues, it just is like a battle zone. It's like a war zone. Like, it's very toxic relationships when we are all out there trying to interact and make our problem somebody else's issue. And until we claim our own issues and until we heal our own wounds, we're just a toxic society. It's not meant to be like that. Okay, so I'm going to switch over now to this other thing and see if it goes, because that was making me think about the alien thing. And so, hold on. This thing I've got like pulled right in front of me as I'm trying to get a position that isn't like so uncomfortable. So hard to get comfortable to sit here. Like, okay, so the the one girl. Okay, so I still, I mean, this it keeps hitting, but I can't see it clear. But so this girl, I'd seen her. I think Amy has shared her with me, and I don't know if she shared her with me first or what. But so she's the one who had the aunt or the grandma or whatever who died, who said all these things before she died. So the girl said that she didn't ask a whole bunch of questions. She was trying to take in the information, but she was more thinking about, you know, her grandma dying, her aunt dying, or whatever it was. And so she wasn't thinking about, oh, I'm going to sit here and log all this information. And she said, at the time, it seemed too far-fetched and too weird, and nobody wanted to talk about that. She said, that's not the kind of stuff. And see, I would go and talk about, that's why I was always called a weirdo. But so there's lots of people who, you know, wouldn't go and talk about that. What gets me is, what I want to know is, are you the same people who stood and laughed at the rest of us instead of standing up and saying, well, no, I have information too, you know? So that's their own issue. You know, I've already gone through it. I've already been through it. And it makes you stronger, even though it beats you down a lot, but you got to build yourself back up. So, but people laughing at you, making fun of you, and thinking that you're crazy and stupid and irrational and all that stuff. You know, you got to build yourself back up. You can't just take their opinions and beat yourself down and go down, because that's you know, your lessons are super low self-esteem if that's the case, and that's what you are here probably to work on. So anyways, some of this stuff, because she's got all these people now asking her questions, and so some of the stuff she's like, I don't know all the answers to all the stuff. But so she was saying, so eyes in it, it seems like the time thing, because I think it is also, she's reading the CIA documents too, or was that a different person? I might be merging two. No, one of hers was talking about that. So, though I'm pretty sure, I don't know, with the documents, all this stuff goes together. Is all consistent, the same kind of narrative. So, and it goes along with stuff I've been saying. So, is what, so when I say something, because I told you all the time I get like confirmation stuff. Like, I'll talk about something and then I'll get confirmation of somebody else talking about some person. I have no idea. And so that's why I said, it's like my communication is like, they'll tell me stuff in my head, and it depends on the reference too, but it has, I don't know how to explain it, but it's like, you just know. And so you know what it, like I don't need to see the evidence when I know something. And then there's other things where, you know, you don't feel it, but when you feel it and you know it, like you know it. So I don't know what else to say about it. But so, but they'll bring confirmation things to me all the time. This is how I've seen how this has been going for such a long time. And so the so I had been saying something about Eisenhower and this treaty or something, whatever it was, this treaty with these alien people. And so this girl is saying that I'm merging. It seems like I'm merging what her sister, what her relative said, and what the CIA said, but the stuff goes all together. So if I'm messing up over quotes, then it all, to me, I keep hearing the same things. So that in the treaty that they were allowed to, the trade was technology, so they get technology. And she was also talking about, her aunt was saying, or whoever it was saying, her relative was saying about that she was a part of this getting the technology, and then like finding a ship crash, and then back technology, like they go backwards to figure out how things work. I can't remember what it's called, but that is talked about so much in the secret space program. Like they talk about that all the time, and probably on other shows too, like Cosmic Disclosure and stuff. So it's like a back technology or something. I can't remember what it's called, but they go and they try and go backwards to figure out stuff. And so, and there's a big program of that, and she was a part of it. And she also said that everything is super compartmentalized. So they make sure that one group doesn't know what another group's doing with another group. So that's why they have all these clearance and stuff, because you're only allowed to know what your group is doing, because if you knew all the things, they don't want anybody putting together the stuff. Part of what they're saying, and part of this treaty, is that they get to come and test on us. They get to come and check, and take us and look at us and stuff. And it was supposed to be at night when we were asleep, so we didn't notice. And somehow people started noticing. And one thing about the Greys is that they don't have emotions. They don't feel towards us. They're very, very intelligent, and they're very like just kind, like, but on an equal basis. Like they don't see humans over being better than trees, or seeing humans being better than cows or whatever. Everything in their reality, this is something I think from the CIA and the aunt said, but it was that they're very equal on how they look, and they don't talk. So she said, anytime you see a video where they're showing them talking, that's not real. That's AI or something, because they don't talk. They only do telepathy. And she said that there's this one video where this one has a light, and the light is moving or something, and that is a telepathy thing. So it is a communication kind of thing. I don't know if it's showing that it's sending out energy. I'm not sure, because some of this stuff that these scientists do and stuff. But one of the things is about in this treaty thing or whatever it was, that they could take us and like eat us. Like we're trade for technology kind of. And so that is you can go in deeper into the secret space program or QHHTs or whatever, and you can find out more about that there's this trade over human to eat. And then also, as like how we want these exotic animals like monkeys and stuff like that. That's the same. Like if we get captured, we can get sold in the black market, and then people keep us in their other houses and other planets and stuff, in cages like birds and stuff. So we are also sold, like exotic animals are sold, because that, we got to see it, like we're just animals too, like. And what would we do, with some of these other creatures? What do we do? We take them in a captivity, we hold them under our control, So that is, that's it's like what goes around comes around. And so the, yeah, because some of these beings, I don't think they're getting held in cages and stuff, but it's like that's what we do, so that's what's done to us, kind of. And so one thing is that they eat us and we're in the trade, and that is in the secret space program talk. And I think Laura Eisenhower, or those two guys, when she's interviewing them, like I don't know how many interviews she has with them, and I don't know if she interviews a whole bunch now. I don't know what she talks about or anything anymore. But a few years back, it was because her and even Nino went and paired up for a while, and I don't know what happened with them, what falling out happened with them. And but then she was doing her own interviews and stuff, and then she was getting interviewed all the time. So I don't know. I mean, it was kind of like weird, because it was like these people in the ufology community were like, you know, very admired, and were people go to all these conferences to get to go talk to them and buy their books and stuff. And now they're kind of like, I don't know, like it's weird too, because this should be, and maybe they are. Maybe I'm just not seeing it. Like I see David's live every Sunday. So I know, but I don't know what he's talking about. But you would think all of those people would be just like, boom, out there everywhere. So I don't know. It's just kind of strange. But anyways, so Laura Eisenhower did have some interviews a few years ago with the guys from the Secret Space Program. And they talked about this stuff. But also Allison Coe on some of her QHHTs, I'm pretty sure it was one of hers, where I heard one of the people talking about that she was working at the place where all this trade went on, and that they bring in, like, I don't know, like train loads of dead bodies or something. I don't know. It's really kind of dark and stuff, because it's weird, because I think, they pushed us into cremation, and then they're pushing us into soil and grain too, but they're pushing us into, or they pushed us into cremation, but really all we got back was ashes. So we don't really know what was done with the bodies. There's a lot of evidence of some of these ones that are being busted that, I mean, they still have bodies laying around and body parts cut off of them and all sorts of weird shit. So there's so much darkness. That's the thing too, is it's like our world is so built on each person's own darkness and all the different things that people will do to screw each other over. And that's what keeps everything in this state like this. And but no matter what the deal is here, no matter what the deal is about how dark it is, that is just like, I don't know the name of all these different video games. Knight Rider, I don't know. But it's like, you go in the first level and you go through that experience, and then you get all you can from that. And then they bring out the new game, and then you're all excited to try that one. And then the next one and the next one. Like, people want to try the things. So that's what you got to think about this world. So no matter for the soul, no matter how challenging it is, we're way beyond what those challenges are. So we have it in us to win every time. But that's the challenge, is because apparently you can get so distracted and they can take over your mind and stuff. Like, there's more to it. So anyways, it's not ever like we come here and we get tricked. Like, even though there's some people who feel like they've been trapped here, like a prison, and there's a group of people that feel like that. So, I can't say that it's not true. I mean, there could be a group of souls that they trapped. And that's the kind of shit they do. And one of those things, it was this, whatever, one of these things was also talking about how everything is like these little I said, everything is like petri dishes, all of these different places. We're all being experimented on all the time. And that is a part of this thing. But see, it's not just that. It's not that. It's the way this person was saying it was like, we're getting tested on for these other beings. And this is how I was taking it, how they were explaining it, is that we are being tested on for these other beings. And so they come and test us, and they come and check on us, and they come and kidnap us or abduct us or whatever the fuck. And to check and see, on their stuff. To me, that I see it more as like the people who are being abducted. When I used to hear about that, it was their family and their group, like wherever they're from, that was coming to check on them because of the density of this place and knowing that there's a lot of beings, that this is a hard, like the reason is that there's more coming is because the vibration's changing. And so that is where there can be more. It's like we're going into their vibration. And so it's like the vibration's changing so that it's like we can see them now and stuff. But they couldn't be in ours because it was so dense. Or they could come in and out or go through. But it wasn't like a regular stop or something. But there's some that have lived here and stuff. Like there's all different things. But when we're just talking about all these different spaceships coming and why there's like all these ones now, it is to me, it's because of the vibration changing and that they can all be here. And so that is a part of this whole evolution kind of thing. But okay, let me think. But yeah, because the way I was seeing it was that they were coming to check on their own people, their own families and stuff, and see how they were doing with this density. And that to me made sense. But because I don't know, I just don't see um aliens as like monsters in the sky coming to get us. And so many people think they're like demons and all this stuff. I think they're just other beings from other places and all at different vibrations, all at different understandings, and they're more advanced than us. But they're helping us to advance because we aren't as low as what we think we are. We are higher vibration. We've just forgotten. So it's just kind of like a transition. It is so it's like a remembering. That's why to me it's just this awakening. It's this remembering. And but it's like slow steps. It's not like a quick abrupt thing. This is like being in a coma and waking up and then having to learn and walk and talk and all that stuff again. So for the soul, this is like, the person's coming out of a coma. And so it's a whole transition. It's a whole thing of letting go of the programming, trying to realize what this reality was, letting go of different things. And it's so complex. But that's the video game side of it. That's the game part. That's where you got to be looking at it, is like challenges, what you can do, how you can do it better and stuff. So the alien, I don't see him as coming here and trying to traumatize it, but to me it is more about that they know that we are in the pasture of the lab, and so that they are checking on us to see how we're doing, so that they are trying to be more care for us rather than be trying to hurt us or anything like that. And I think it is also, I don't know why, I think don't get so caught up in the concept of human, because I totally get the thing of the container, and because you're a soul, and your soul, and so many people have forgotten about their soul world, soul life, and who they really are and stuff like that. But this this density or whatever, so you forget about who you really are, and then you come in and go through all these challenges and stuff that if you can remember who you are, it changes the challenges and whatnot. But so that is this slow kind of awakening thing, this slow thing occurring for the souls. Like, it's not meant to be like a real rushed thing. I've definitely seen it. It's not supposed to be rushed, motherfucker. Like, it's fucking slow, man. So slow. So, but it's slow for a reason. It's because, we're not supposed to, it's not about getting there fast. It's about getting there the right way. And the right way is like the most cleansing your soul way. So the deepest cleanse that you can do on yourself is what your goal is. It's not like, how fast can I do it? How quick can I get there? It's way more about, how complete can I clean myself up? How complete can I let go of all this darkness and face myself, and then also alter my behaviors, begin to take responsibility for my behaviors and alter, some of them, and take more matters into your own hands and not just live by impulses and desires. And I'm talking about like the desires that lead people into perversion and very much driving that side of themselves. So it's way more about getting control of that. And then also, there's the whole toxic part about women and the emotions and stuff like that. Because a lot of women use their emotions. Um, a lot of women are caught up in the pain of their emotions. Like, there's a lot. There's all different things that people have to work on for themselves and heal. But there's definitely a lot of personality disorders that are, emotional damage. There are things that have happened to you that emotionally damage you. And so then you have these toxic behaviors, but that's where you have to go in and take more control of your toxic behaviors, which is all easy like to do. It's done through awareness. It's like, once you start paying attention, you catch yourself doing stuff, then it's easy to start stopping yourself. But it's not as abrupt as you may want it to be. But through the noticing and through the awareness is where you have the ability to heal whatever brought this out in you. So it's the steps that you take. It's not just this like quick instant, like, oh, I just want an instant hit. I want an instant fix. I just want it all to go fast. And it doesn't go like that. It's like, and it's so crazy because to me, it's like some of the stuff was so powerful so long ago. And then you think, oh, I've healed that stuff and stuff. And then something comes in, like, finding out about this, your first love dying and being dead for 15 years. It wasn't like he just died. He was like 15 years. And it was just like so much stuff. I could not believe it's still, I mean, it's still constantly popping up on my thing. I'm still constantly feeling these things. It's stuff to heal and cleanse. And like, I don't know all of all of our past lives and stuff, all of our different interactions. It's like, to me, the things that come up the most, the things, like, you could go deeper into all this stuff and try and understand everything, but you could also get yourself really overwhelmed. So to me, it's just kind of go with the flow. If there's more for me to know, then it will come to me. Like, all of a sudden I will see him and I in some other world, in some other reality, and see the relationship there. And but it would only be if it was needed for the understanding or the healing. It's like, to me, it's like, you don't get shown a bunch of just senseless stuff. Everything that I get shown from past lives and stuff have a very huge impact. Like, it has a significance to something I'm working on, something I'm healing, something I need to see. So, it could be whatever our lives were, I have no idea, you know. I mean, I'm sure we've played different roles for each other. We've probably been a couple. We've probably been brother and sister. That's the kind of stuff like that you do. All the different people around you, you've been these different things with them. You've been in different aspects of relationships with them. And it's all about learning. It's all about understanding about, there's so much about connection and understanding yourself and the impact of relationships. Like you have to have these relationships that matter to you so that you can, the loss that you go through brings up the stuff that you need to purge out and let go of. So you need to have these things that, is what makes the game, a kind of a learning situation, is that all the traumas and the things that we go through. And that's where you can see like the growth from the game. And so there's significant things about it. But so let me think. Okay, so the the aliens that don't have feelings like how what we think, which I had said before about, because even these beings that have been running this system here, if it's 13 original families, whatever, they don't have feelings like towards us, but they don't have much feelings towards anything. That's why I think that they feed, they're kind of really like the darker, maybe it is like, maybe it is like when they, like the rituals and stuff like that, like the terror that they create, that's gives them some sort of pleased feeling. Like they don't get much feeling. Like they don't know what feelings are. They don't know much about feeling love, feeling feeling commitment, feeling like they don't even commit to a body. Like they just jump from body to body anyways. That but they don't have the same kind of, like, they're not the same as us. They're different. And they don't have feeling. And that's why I said they look at kind of like our having feeling towards each other is a weakness. And so I think that is why they try and create a lot of trauma and stuff. But every bit of the situations that go on here in this reality with all the different people, all the different souls, are all the different storylines. It's their different soul storylines. So it's just their different patterns playing out. And then they want to use them to traumatize you and make you feel like, oh, that could happen to me, that could happen to me. But no, nothing can happen to you unless it's meant to happen to you. And those storylines playing out have nothing to do with the different storylines. The only things are when you come into this, like, this this click, 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 click. You go through life, click, 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 and then you have these interactions with different people at different times, and everything is so temporary. Everything is so temporary. Even if you live in the same place for a long, long time, everything is just, it's temporary. Even if you live in a place for a long, long time, there's like different people, that would come in and out of your life, and they would be gone, they would grow up, they would die off. So no matter what it is, everything is temporary. No matter if you keep going and going from place to place and from person to person or whatever, then you are, everything is temporary. There's nothing that is, and that's kind of just the way the universe is, you know? It is meant to be like that. To me, it's like you learn to appreciate, because when you are going through stuff, it's temporary. It's not going to last forever. So even on the problems and stuff, when you're going through problems, to sit there and think of the things that you learn, like having the bathroom so jacked up for so long, I learned so much about appreciation of this bathroom, I'll tell you. I can't figure out like how this water is shooting out through the thing. I guess I could also probably get uh, one of those shower doors and put it, and I don't know if that would block it more, but I just feel like I got to get the knob off and change the knobs out. You can change the knobs out, put new knobs, and put new of that white tape stuff. But I can't get the screw to unscrew to get the knobs off. And I'm thinking the person who put them on was a lot stronger than me. So that's why I was saying I need a man who has strength to be able to turn them, to loosen them. I wish I would have got my son-in-law to do it while he was here. I may ask the neighbor girl if her boyfriend would. And to me, I mean, may seem kind of strange, but I know there's other girls that understand this perspective, is like, I don't want to just ask the single guy next door, because it starts being like, oh, you need them and stuff like that. There develops this weird kind of thing. But when the guy's taken, it's like, you know that it's not going to be like he's trying to, make himself more necessary in your life or something, that he really can just do your little thing and go about his business. And you don't have this weird dynamic growing or being created or something. Especially when when people, keep making it clear that they want to go out with you. And then it's like, I don't want to go into that thing of like needing somebody. Like, oh, well, I need you to do this. I need you to do that. So I'm way more of a, you know. So, anyways, but I've got the water problem, so I do have to figure out how to get that thing off. But I don't think it's like some big, huge thing. Like, I really don't think I need a plumber to come out and redo all that stuff. I think it's just that I need new knobs and to retape it. But man, that water pours out. But you learn different things. I don't know. Sometimes you learn like things that humble you, you know? Things that, I don't know, maybe you thought you're like way too good, and then all of a sudden your bathroom sucks, and then you're like, well, how good, you know what I mean? It's like a leveling thing or something. I don't remember all the different things. Like, it's been a few years. I just know at this point, I just feel so appreciative. So much like, oh my gosh. And I don't think I would have that much appreciate if I just moved into the place and they just had a functioning bathroom. I don't think I would have near the appreciation. It's so crazy when you go having a problem with something and then it gets fixed, as how much it makes you so happy. And how it's just, I don't know, such a completion. Oh yeah, that's why I wanted to say also about the moving the furniture around. Because especially when it's a small place and you're having to like move this, go over there, move that, go over there, move this, go over there, move that. And it's like this weird kind of thing. And I think that sometimes that can become uh, irritating to some people. And so they start doing a project like that and then just give up or just put stuff back, or it's too difficult or something. But on all the things, when you get to the point where it feels like, this sucks, take a break. You could go take a break, take a rest, take a breather or something. Go out and do some deep breathing or whatever. When I get into situations where I feel overwhelmed by stuff like that, I always ask for help. So I'll say, please, can you help me? Can you please get this in order? Can you please do this? Can you please do that? And I don't go into everything and think that. I'll just start doing stuff. And it's when things keep going wrong and keep falling apart and stuff. And then I keep getting frustrated, which whatever is around is definitely just nonstop knocking shit out of my hands and stuff. It's so crazy. Um, it's just, it's crazy. And I know that has got to be a part of the harassing the dogs too. It's just this energy. And I don't know, to me, it's so loud too. And I keep seeing so many things, so much stuff. It's just like, I don't know. I'm be so glad. I sure the fuck hope that this 39 day thing is for real. So what was supposedly is like, so Cliff High said, this 39 days after this interview, that there was going to be this big thing that was going to happen. I think he said in the sky or something. I don't remember what he said. But so all these remote viewers went in to go look and see if they could see what happens. And they said it's like dog fights. They said it goes crazy up in the sky. And there's all this dog fights between what it appears to be the military and alien ships. And so then this girl, I just saw her video, and she, I think hers was a meditation or something, her communication, with her guidance or whatever. And she said that they said that it's going to be, that this is going to happen, that the ships and everything are going to start this big battle up there, and that there's going to be all these sparks flying. And it's crazy because this goes with a bunch of other people's dreams that there was being out there like a couple years ago. There's all these people having these dreams that there was all of a sudden going to be all these flashes in the sky and sparks and stuff falling. And there were some people saying they were going to be entities. You needed to stay in your house, and the demons were going to be landing and getting us and stuff like that. And then there was other people saying that they were running from them and all these sparks falling. And then other people saying they were going out looking. And so all these different dreams that were happening that were talking about this. So I think that's interesting. And so she said that it's going to be this big battle that's going to go down, and that there's going to be all those sparks that are going to be flying and stuff. But her guidance was telling her that everybody needs to go outside. Everybody needs to witness this. So it's going to be take over our whole skies, and whatever it is, it's supposed to take over the skies, and we're all supposed to go out and watch. This is just going to change the world, and which, yeah, it would. And then that even would make it where were they trying to build up a psyop to get us to be scared of this occurrence that was going to happen? Like they knew it was going to happen. So then they start building up this, oh, there's going to be a fake alien invasion. So that, I don't know, there's always so much distortion to all the information. And and there is so many shit. Like there's so many ships up there. So many videos of people getting so many ships and so many just flying around, making themselves seen. And it's so funny too, because it's all the same stuff that I had been seeing since 2016 and 2017. I was telling people, those are ships, those are ships, those are ships. And everybody's like, kept thinking I was crazy. No, that's just a star. That's just a satellite and stuff. And I was like, no, those are ships. Now they're flying around doing the exact same thing that when I looked through my telescope, I could see them. There were these colors spinning around and stuff. So anyways, I knew they were ships and I was telling people, but yeah, so now they're everywhere and they're down lower and they're being in fleets, like they're coming in fleets. This one guy was sitting at his house and he was doing this green laser light, and it was flashing up to the different ones. And so when he would do on some, then other ones would start coming and flashing. And so then he turned and he was doing over at this one. Then a whole bunch came and were flashing. So there was a whole bunch that were flashing over there. So I don't know if they were going towards the light he was putting up there that they were looking, or if there was some communication. Like, I don't know. Whatever's going on is, it's new. It's different. This is like, we can't do anything but watch and see. I just hope that this it really is, because if it is, that would be, I still, who knows how it would all play out. It would definitely be the change we're looking for. So I sure hope. Because wasn't there another thing that the remote viewers saw? And then I don't remember if it was that they saw the right thing or whatever. Or that date came and went. I don't know. There's been so many dates where I just get like, oh, I hope so. I hope this is it. I hope this is it. And then the date goes, and then we just keep going back to the same stuff over and over. And then there'll be like weird things in the news, Like they just keep trying to show how criminal and corrupt all this bullshit is. And then something will make it all like, oh, this is so exciting. It's about to go. And then it just goes right back into the same thing. It's like, oh my God, dang. It's like, when is it going to just take off? So, I don't know. Hopefully this is blast off time. And hopefully this is when things are going to start really rocking and rolling. And to me, Vladimir is saying a lot of stuff. And there's just tons of stuff being exposed. So much stuff. There was so much stuff like criminal activity in neighborhood or in communities, and the criminals involved. Like there's just like judges, everything is being exposed, and I don't know like how it's gonna play out, because to me it's also, this is like the takedown of the government is like this whole big shift to take down the corporation, the banking, all Western medicine. Like this is all this collapse of all of our structure falling apart. And it's going to be scary, and it's going to, hurt and traumatize a lot of people because they're not prepared. And, but there's a lot of us, have been getting prepared, and, and not just like getting prepared by having food, but, starting to take our health into our own hands and stuff. And so, like, when you're having all of these crazy things happen, like, I don't know if it's the poisons, the atmosphere, and stuff like that. To me, it's like you got to keep detoxing and keeping cleansing yourself, and keep trying to make sure you're taking in proper nutrition and living really, trying to live healthy is most important, I think. And, so, trying to do those things emotionally, you got to be dealing with your stuff. Emotionally, people are so immature and, yeah, emotionally retarded. They're just so held back. So it is, it's each person has to activate this side of themselves, this, taking control of themselves emotionally and facing their own inability, um, their own deficits, because that's what it basically is. But so there's going to be so many people are going to be super traumatized, but there's going to be so many people who are going to be prepared. We won't need that stuff. And I don't know how, I mean, maybe they would, I don't know, because they could like close down a huge amount of grocery stores at once. But, in some communities, I think that it would be a lot more efficiently done. Like if there's a community where they don't have any small grocers or something like that, places where people could get stuff, then I would think that they wouldn't just close all of the places down. But there could be places that they're gonna close, all the grocery stores down, and except for these little mom and pop ones or something, like big dramatic things can go on. And that will also build up certain parts of the community, but also it's a part of people is just to start seeing you don't need all the things you think you need. Like, one thing that is really good news, all the videos I've seen, like Best Buy, they had it fucking just stacked up with all these electronics and TVs. Who knows what the prices were? One thing I've seen is people going through stores and taking off the Black Friday tags, and the prices are exactly the same or cheaper. It's such a fucking scam. There's so much scamming going, or people have found the scams on Amazon too. Like if you do Prime, you don't have the same prices as other people. We still pay for shipping. Our prices are more expensive than the people who pay for shipping, but I don't know where it equals out. But anyways, they price gouge and they change prices depending on your classification in their group or whatever. And they don't tell us that. Everything is like these scams and stuff. They're all going to be getting in trouble. They're all going to be losing stuff because of their corrupt behavior. And just because the world was allowing them to be corrupt, there were still people who weren't corrupt. There were still people with integrity. So people who prioritize greed over integrity, then it's gonna, the universe is gonna show them. They're gonna see. So the price gouging. Oh yeah. So Best Buy is just totally stacked up with all these TVs and electronics and stuff. Nobody going in and buying it. Nobody. The store's just empty. And same with Walmart. In the Walmart one where the person was walking around showing, there was like 2 different people that they saw. There was no people. And the same thing, things stacked up, for their big sale and nobody coming in to buy them. And I saw one girl doing a video talking about, like, if you want us to come to your Black Friday sale, put something we need on sale, like food. And, which is true. They put all this stuff, like, and that is where you can see that's what's changing in humanity with this this consumption, which is good news to me, because I was like, man, people just going to go right out and just go straight us into the shopping, especially after they've all been saying how broke they are. And there's so much crisis. There's some people, okay, so the homeless people still keep going missing. And there's a whole thing about people saying that these white vans pull up and they go get in them, and then they're made these offers, and then they take off. And people think they're being taken as, somebody was saying that she thinks they're being taken as beta for the CAMPs from the MAFA, you know who I'm saying? If you put it, spin it around the other way, those places that we've been talking about for a couple years, and that they're popping up in weird places. So there's people who think that they are taking the homeless people and putting there. I don't. I mean, so you're gonna suddenly take responsibility for feeding these people who you think won't even go to work or won't be, you know, like are a bunch of druggies and stuff. It would have to be the white hats that would want to take responsibility for that. And they would be, then I would say they would be being taken to like some kind of healing centers or something. So there may be white hats and white vans and going out and picking them up and trying to clean up the streets and get these people off the streets if they want to heal and they want to go and get detox and stuff like that. And they may be going into that system, disappearing into that system, because people keep saying they're disappearing. People can't get a hold of them, they can't find them, and all this stuff. But they could, if it's the dark side of things, I would say they're definitely not putting them into those places and saying, hey, we'll take responsibility for you. Sit around here and do drugs all day and we'll just give you food. No, no. Like, no, they wouldn't do that. I don't think so. They would be going and taking them to places like Frankenstein's lab and letting them be chopped up on or parted out or turned into gel and sprayed on the food. That's what I say. There's no the dark they're not going to be doing that. They do their beta testing on like communities like this and stuff where we as a community that we have our own community set. They go and they find, oh, that one would work good. They look at things like where water is, where certain things are. Oh, we could introduce bats, we could have lizards come and, you know, like, we'll release the lizards and they're all monster lizards that attack people and eat them while they're sleeping or something. They do that kind of stuff. So they aren't uh, they've got us all in different places, and it's so trippy because it's all different realities. It's like places that were like third world countries and stuff weren't just third world countries for our amusement or something. Those were realities. Those were places where souls came to go through those experiences and learn from what was going on. And then so all these different places and all these different ones at different times where different tribes have come and either started, you know, mating with different beings here or whatever. There's just like a whole lot of different stuff. Why there's so many different kinds of like people is because there's like lots of different kinds of aliens. You know, you want to think of them being aliens, like, and I just think it's kind of funny. I've thought this was funny for a while, is how they refer to people outside of your country and stuff as aliens. It's because, like, yeah, because they really are of what we believe of aliens. We got aliens all around us, but those ones, so they would be also birthed into some kind of a container or something, some kind of spacesuit, because they're still going through birthing process just the same as we are. So it's kind of like to get into this reality, but it is also um, it is it's weird because they used to be able to just come here and fly here. You had all these different ones. And then there was some that came and like colonized or whatever, came and settled, became settlers from other places and started developing and became tribes and stuff. And so I bet you if we really did some accurate DNA testing and stuff, we would find there's certain tribes where they would be like, this DNA is otherworldly. And I bet you that they have already been looking at that. I bet you I said that they were looking at other things in those DNA test stuff than what we thought they were looking at. They were telling us, you know, it's for your entertainment. Oh, it's so fun. Oh, this is good stuff. And everybody's going and doing it. Oh, I want to know what I am. I want to know what I am. And like, yeah, take away all the people's concept of who they are, all their culture, all their connection to their past and their heritage. And then start telling them you can give them all the information they want through getting their blood or a sample of them and their tissue and stuff. Well, like your DNA carries your soul imprint. It's way bigger than just your human imprint. And so it's like your soul. So when they are going in, they're looking for other things. They're not just looking for, like, how Russian are you? How German are you? And stuff like that. So, uh, it's all, everything is like such a scam, and everything is like these, there's so much espionage and so much manipulation, so much lying, so much testing. So, we've been lab rats, and it's been kind of like accepted in the universe or something, because it was like everybody was watching to see what would happen. But remember, we are souls coming into this reality with free will. And so it isn't that we're forced here and we're stuck here and stuff. That's just part of the illusion, a part of the game. And so this, them coming in to liberate us and to give us information and stuff, it's all part of the game. It's all just a part of what happens to change the direction of humanity. But this is why everybody's been watching and stuff. So if there has been different beings coming down and testing and stuff on us and stuff, it's because I would say it's to see how we're being affected by all this. But see that their time is up. And so one thing about the Eisenhower contract or whatever, I guess if you go to him as being the contract, the 70-year contract, it would be up in 2024, this person was saying. So when he signed it, it would be up now. And so that would also have to do with all of these beings, like, your time is up. You had your time to do this, and now humans get a no. But it's also because we are raising our consciousness. It's like we want answers. It's like we want to know. So that is where the universe is gonna, listen to what we want and bring us what it is. And it's just the way things roll. It's like this universal action. And so, I feel like there's something. I was eating cookies. I made some really good cookies. They're kind of like just like chocolate chip cookie recipe, except for I put a bunch of walnuts in them. So that's where I tell myself, well, they're kind of healthy. I didn't put a whole bunch of chocolate chips, but it's got a lot of butter and sugar. That's for sure. Because the almond butter cookies don't have butter. They just have almond butter, but they do have sugar. But you could put honey or figs or maple syrup. To me, the maple syrup is like, every time I've tried to use that as a sweetener, there's other sweeteners too. There's other ones. If you really want to get off the sugar, I'm still on the sugar. But there is, like, the maple syrup is like, fuck, you have to put so much in. So anyways, but if you're trying to get off the sugar, then there is other ones. There's another one that keeps popping into my mind too, but I can't see it very good. Monk fruit. I think monk fruit is one too, or something like that, some kind of thing like that. But anyways, but the almond butter ones, the almond butter is like the fat too. And so it has almonds, but this one has butter fat, and walnuts. So I don't know. They could both be equally as healthy and equally as unhealthy. I don't know. But I still eat a lot of cookies. I always had a thing about cookies. I'm always eating a lot of cookies. I've always eaten a lot of sweets ever since I was little. And then I have that one granddaughter who's like me, who just wanted to eat sweets. And I was the same. So I could see, but then as I got older, then I started really liking vegetables. But vegetables are very sweet. Like, depends on how you cook them. Especially they used to be. Like, corn and carrots used to be so sweet. I think all different ones. Because I never was very much into eating fruit. because my stomach was so acidic and it would always burn it would always make, and I just never did because it would cause my stomach to hurt. And, but vegetables to me are sweet. So, let me think. Now my stomach's growling too. I'm gonna go make some more tea. How long have I been talking? I want to go make some more tea and eat some more cookies. And oh yeah, what was that movie I watched yesterday? I keep getting on these true movies, these Lifetime true movies, and they're always setting precedents, and they're always like leaning us to look at things a certain way. Even at the end of that movie with the Linda Carter and the baby stealing thing or whatever it was, the whole thing when they'll say this stuff, it's like it's so misleading. Like they were always directing us to look at things in a certain way. They were always getting us to look the wrong direction. And then they would show us a little bit, but then it was just show us so that they could to turn it the other way. So it was like, we're going to tell them about this so we can get it ahead of the game, so we can direct them so that they will think about it this way. And they're very good at knowing how to direct our thoughts and stuff. That's what that three-letter agency spent so much time trying to do, is to understand how our psyches work and how to break them, how to control them. And that's what these people are all about. Even at these, this Davos or whatever, this whatever the fuck, all these people, these guys that they keep showing, they just want to control us. They've even said they want total control of us, total control of our minds and stuff, and they'll get it. They'll get it. They think they will. They aren't. They lose. As it is, their time is up. Everything about this time is up. Everything about this time is crashing around us. It's not even like it's a maybe. It's like crashing around us. And I swear to God, there's something in my tooth that's driving me crazy. Pie cookies. Nuts. Nuts get stuck in your teeth all the time. Hold on. Just going to get a toothpick, start to just get real comfortable with you guys. Start picking my zits here. Like, no, I don't have any zits, but back when I was younger, I had a horrible complexion. That was another thing too, is having to, there's so many things that are hard to have to power through, like having your face break out and having to go to school. It's like, that's the worst. But you do learn to just like, don't let that stuff get to you. And I know that there's kids that have to go through that, and it does get to them, but you can do the opposite. You can learn how to not let it get to you. And because a lot of stuff is not going to matter. Like everybody has stuff. Like everybody has stuff they're embarrassed about or they don't like about themselves, or, everybody. I don't know. I mean, if there's some person who just thinks they're the greatest thing, I don't know. Because to me, it is even like it's a part of like the healing thing, like to be, to start being like, oh God, I love my hair. Gosh, it's so, and the things I love about it is like how healthy. It's so healthy. It's so, I don't know. It's like it's so healthy. And so I love it. And so that is like something about me that I love, that is, because I was thinking about this, because I was thinking about like when you start finding things about yourself to love, like, to me, for my body, I was so embarrassed of being like topically underdeveloped, and that ate at me and ate at me, especially like I kept growing taller and not developing, and so it made me feel really insecure, and and it made me not like my body. So one of those things just flew by again. I don't know what it is. It's weird. So anyways, and it's weird how it flew up. Like, where the fuck was it? And what was it? So anyways, let me think what I was saying. The, underdeveloped. I think I've said that a few times today. Man, what was it? It drives me crazy when I forget what I'm talking about. And I saw another girl talking about that, and she was saying, it drives me crazy when I'm talking about something, and then all of a sudden I forget. And it's like, it's so easy to get off. It's like, because there's more going on in your mind. And so it's like a lot. That's where it's just like, it is, what is that? Like a mastery. It's like, okay, it's like the difference of a guy who is flipping burgers, and then a guy who has got a whole bunch of pots on the stove and is cooking a whole bunch of different things at once. So it's there's a difference in the type of the cooking, a difference in the type of preparation, or whatever you want to call it. And so that's what it's like inside my mind. It's not just like a line cook sitting there flipping burgers. It's like there's all these dishes on the stove, and they're all having to be maintained. And then a lot of times too, you find yourself talking to the thing, or asking questions, whatever. Or sometimes it's like, I don't know. It's weird. There's a whole fucking conversation going. It's easy to get off track. And so, anyways, that's just a part, to me, is like a development of, to start being able to do it better, to stay more on track, to not get off so easy, to be able to bounce back in. Every time I can get back in real quick, I'm always impressing my own self, even though I don't say. I'm always like, oh, you did it. You remember, sometimes I'll start saying something and then I'll remember. And to me, I'm patting myself on the back, even though I'm not saying anything. But it is, sometimes it's very challenging, because it's easy to go off, like, and you go down the branch, and then it's like, how do I get back? What was I talking about? How did I even get here? And so anyways, I still can't remember what the one lady said about maybe I don't know. I can't see a good. It'll drive me crazy, because I'm sure I'll remember after. But if this 39-day thing is supposed to be coming, it's supposed to be Tuesday, I guess. It's supposed to be the 3rd, is what I heard. So the 3rd of December. So today's the 1st. So we got today and tomorrow. So if it is the 3rd, or if it maybe goes from the 2nd into the 3rd, maybe it's the 3rd in the middle of the night. Or maybe it's the 3rd at the end of the night, and the beginning of the night. So I don't know. I just hope that something is about to go down, and something's about to make this shift and start really turning things in this other direction. Even though it's going to be really hard on a lot of people, I think that it has been a lot of preparation. I think there has been a lot of getting enough stuff out there that people shouldn't be scared, like how it was in the War of the Worlds. Like when they did that radio program, I don't know, this hand thing, in the 40s or whatever it was, and they did that. Orson Welles did the War of the Worlds, and they did this radio show that acted like aliens were landing, and all the people freaked out, and people got scared. I think people were killing themselves and everything. I don't remember. It was like utter panic. And so I think that they want to make sure to not do that. But see, they created that in people. People are so scared. They're so scared of aliens being demons. People are, I can't even get over how people are so sure the Bible has all the answers. Yesterday, this guy, he was harassing me so much, I finally blocked him. It was like, dude, leave me the fuck alone. And, oh yeah, it was that guy who, the guy who thinks that girls should just go and sleep with whoever. And Mitch something. And so anyways, whatever, that guy, I finally blocked him. He was driving me crazy. But there's this other guy, he keeps sending me messages about, I don't know, he's trying to save my soul or something. And one of the things, he's like, Because all these people always say, the Bible says, the word of God, God said right there in the Bible. And it's like, where in the world, like, these people come up with God said? King James said. King James said that this is his version. This is a King James version. So his, what he got out of the book, this is what he got out of the book. And the one thing too is I had said something about that, and somebody said, like, the first story in the Bible as it opens up is perverted. It's weird. Is this two sisters who decide that they're going to, I don't know, knock their dad out, and then use his male characteristic in order to impregnate themselves. So it starts right out the bang with the fucking incestual creepiness. Like, the other day, all of this movie, Newcastle After Dark, that channel I like. Another one too, cult. I have a few channels that I follow. Cult classics. But anyways, the Newcastle After Dark, I like those guys because they go and they talk and they tell stuff about the movies. But there's one they put on the other day. It was one I hadn't seen. It had Carol Kane, which I really, man, she's so good, and she's so young in it, and she's so cute. Oh yeah, because I was saying something about the body thing. Oh yeah, because yeah, not liking my body, but then and then going with my insecurities, and then getting the implants, but then getting them out, and then liking my body so much, being like, oh my God, I like it so much. What is wrong with me? It's like, I like having no boobs. Like, I like it. Like, it's more comfortable. And so anyways, that just reminded me, because Carol Kane, was very flat-chested too. Is that her name, Carol Kane, or am I saying the wrong name? She was the one in Princess Bride. She always has that funny voice. They always made her, she became like a character actress. But anyway, she's really, really cute when she was younger. And in this movie, it had Lee Grant. Lee Grant was, there was a show called Heart to Heart with, what was his name? Not Roger Moore. It was the same guy who was, I think he was married to Natalie Wood. And there's all this speculation that he was involved with what happened to her on the boat. And there's more information. There's more conspiracy around that whole thing, and about what happened in Hollywood. Robert Wagner. So Robert Wagner and Lee Grant did this show, Heart to Heart, where they're like this married detective couple. So in this movie, though, it's called the Mafu Cage, I think. And it has like incest and stuff with these two sisters. I was like, what in the hell? Like, I don't remember stuff like this back in the 70s and stuff, where they were putting this kind of stuff in movies. It was, like, I had never seen this movie, and I hadn't heard of it. There was another one, too, that I'd seen that they had on there, and it was called Pin, Pin. And it was like last year I saw that one, and it was so weird, too. I mean, and whoever, there was another person. Let me think, because the one movie, The Mafu Cage, is very small cast, a very isolated destination, or the whole thing. Like, they wouldn't have made a whole lot of money making this movie, or wouldn't have cost a whole lot of money making this movie. It's very much more mental. I mean, it is freaking creepy. Is the one sister is mentally ill, and the other sister is it's so toxic. And it's dark. So anyways, like, if you want to see a dark, weird movie from the 70s, it was very unexpected. But the thing with this incest and stuff is, like, they want to push that kind of thing. They want all this perversion. They want all these people doing all this weird, perverted stuff. And that is, it's like the people who are in that energy, more become that. And see, this is the part where the people who are in this energy, they're going to get to see if they're really in that energy. And some of them, it's going to be quite a distance to go from where they are in the dark to get to where they, into the light. Like, there's a lot of people, like, there's a reason why this place has been dark. And it's the people around us. It's the world that's been created. And it's not just like these people. These people are like kind of observers of us. They also create tension. They also create division and all that stuff. But we are the players. It's us screwing each other over and taking advantage of one another. It's the lack of integrity and morals in our society where people are just eaten up with the consumption of greed and sexual impulse. So we have, this very dark characteristic. And that is what trips me out, is how I see so much of how it started going into the 80s and then into the 90s. And what is also so trippy is throughout my awakening and stuff, how I keep going backwards. Like, I keep going backwards into the 80s and 70s. It's weird. It's supposedly we're going to kind of go back and settle into like the 60s and prices and stuff. But it's weird how I can feel it going backwards somehow. It's like I can feel it, and like the music, and I don't know. I don't even know how to explain it. Like, there's so many things like I don't know how to explain how everything's so loud, how I feel like I'm not even really here. Like, grounding is like moving a room around, like it's really here. I really changed this. I really did this. Cooking something, making something happen, creating something. Man, this pain in my hand. Fuck, I don't know. With all these weird, and I would say they must be like nerve pains and stuff. And that is where some of these chemicals that they remove, like the sheaths or the coatings off of things, they can make things hurt. So they've got that issue. They also can make it overreactive. Like, they can do all these kinds of things with these chemicals, and I'm sure with the frequency and stuff too. But was something else I was just seeing about that. The something with sickness, making us sick, which they do that. They do that on purpose. I can't see what it is, what it was I was going towards or whatever. But whatever, yeah, the detoxing and trying to, I don't know, because some of this stuff is being just aware of it, but also being aware of it also is a challenge to not get beat down by it. To not just be just like, it's so frustrating to feel sick and then to have these kinds of things. It's like, and you don't know what it is doing inside of your body, what's being attacked and stuff. Oh yeah, it was something with the cancer. It was oh yeah, in this movie I was watching, another true story, was this one woman who she had gotten cancer. Oh yeah, because hers was her son, who faked his own death, and then he got found later, 10 years later or something, and this whole big drama with Social Security had paid the kids, like it was the whole thing. But his mom had died, and when she was going, I don't know how many rounds of the CHMEMO that she had gone through, but she said that her CA was back and she wasn't going to go through another round. She was just going to go. And I think that has happened with so many people. And it's just such a shame too, because the treatment is what is doing the people in. And you got to go with the less invasive kind of treatment. And there was a video I just saw. It was showing a bunch of really cringy things, medical things. But one of them was they were shining a light on a guy's eye. He was dark skinned, so it gave me the idea that he was in a third world country. And we go to eye doctors and stuff all the time. So I would think that they would tell us, but fuck, who knows? But they were shining a light, and oh my god, it was just like a snake just going around and around, swimming around in his eye. In your eye is fluid. Like when this is a situation, like if your eye gets popped, that's what the problem is because all the fluid goes out. So it dries up like a grape or a prune or something. And so that is the issue when people get this damage done to their eyes. It's the fluid. So in this fluid, though, with all of this toxins and shit that they keep flooding us with, and bots and bullshit in the air and shit, it goes into that fluid and just swims around. And there's still something, I'm not sure, like I've got less of the floaters and stuff, but there's still something blocking in this one. And it's weird how it's close to this, but when I've been using the DMSO or whatever, this really, like this is tiny now. So we'll see, because it can still come back. That's what it's been doing for years now. But but right in this same area. So it's like right in here. What's creepy too is like, if it is like bacteria, botulism bacteria, like, ugh, man. Like, I don't even fucking know. Like, what the hell? So whatever's made of its home there or something. So I'm just gotta keep doing the black seed oil and all these different things. That's what I keep doing with Estelle too. And I've been putting the castor and that stuff in. She had this one, it became really big on her back, and I put some of that. I've done it a couple times now, and it seems to be collapsing. So, and the one on her chin too seems that there's activity. It's like it's drying up or something. So that would be the difference, I would guess, is if you went and had a tumor surgically, that goes out. But then if you take this stuff, then it dries it up. This is what it's seeming like to me. I haven't done all the research. There's a whole bunch of science papers and stuff on this stuff. And but that is by what I'm watching, what it seems to be doing, is it drying that stuff up. And it burns, man. When I put it on here, it burned. And so I'm going to try it again until this completely goes away. Because there is still some kind of thing there. And I still, and I don't know how much of that stuff that is like settled in here even. And one thing too is, when you get up in the morning and your face is all puffy and stuff, is just massage that lymph, that puffiness out. So many people they just leave all their puffiness. They just leave their stuff. And then it like forms wrinkles and stuff. So you gotta push it. You gotta just get up in the morning and put your oil on your face and then start pushing all of the fluid out of your face and get it and push it down in towards your lymph and stuff. So that I think is important. And then also there's all of these different like things to do, exercises and stuff to do with your face, but definitely to push all of that puffiness, because that is the fluid that you don't want all gathering up. So if it gets all puffy or whatever, from whatever, I know we're told like salt can make it puffy, maybe your pellet, like I don't fucking know, but whatever it is. So when you do, is don't be intimidated by the puffiness. Push it out of your face. And they have those little things, those little whatever they're called, gouaches or whatever. There's different ones you can get. Metal, mine's jade. I think it hurt. I'd much rather just use my hands, but I use pressure, like I'm pushing. This is something too, it was funny because when I was younger, I'd always use face scrub on my face. And then people would say, like, oh, you shouldn't use that. It's going to tear your skin up and stuff. And I was like, fuck, I've been using that for 30 years or something. It's like, fine. And then it was a whole thing about, we got to be gentle with your skin and all that stuff. I was like, why? That doesn't make any sense. You've got to be delicate with your skin. So I've always been like really rough with, not rough, but not, and now they've got all this stuff coming out with, oh, you need to be rough, you needed to be pulling, because that gets the blood flow back in there, and that gets the you pull all of the fascia and stuff, which gets it to like aerate or something. It like pulls in, let's see, blood flow and stuff, and pushes the fluids out. So, and you need to be draining the fluids. So those are just practices, that I think, for people who are aging, that when we are getting up and stuff in the morning. And I don't know when it starts for different people. I mean, I'm sure it has something to do with diet too. Somebody who probably drinks and then goes to bed, that they could probably wake up with a lot of puffiness. But don't be intimidated by the puffiness. Do some massages, and you may not be able to just go in and be like, oh, it depends on how puffy, but don't be intimidated by it. Do massaging on your face, and remember, you've got to be like waking up those tissues, and what they say is like draining the lymph, and then breaking these little like fascia up and stuff, so that it is I don't know, heals and improves your skin and stuff. So don't be, they did talk about, oh, you gotta be so careful with your skin or you're gonna damage it. No, you gotta be not aggressive, but you gotta be, assertive, manhandle it a little bit, take control. So anyways, that is something. Now I've been talking for plenty long enough, I would say. But let me think, was there something else? Because I haven't been going on TikTok much. I haven't been doing much of any of that kind of stuff, of going on social media or whatever. Um, I don't know, just because I check and see a couple videos, but it just is like, I don't know. It's just annoying or something. Like, there's so many things that are just kind of annoying or something. They're loud. It's just, I don't know. I feel like it's not going to be like that when the energy flips. I feel like it is like this pressure build up to the shift. And the pole shift is an energetic shift. It's a real shift in energy. It's a real thing that is shifting. So even though it doesn't seem like it's real, it's real. And it's on all these different levels that it's shifting. And so our lives are shifting, our lives on all these different levels, our lives personally, our lives in the communities, everything. Everything is going to be shifting. And everything is just all over the place. It's so funny because I saw this person sitting there saying about California and Oregon is going to be joining in with Canada, and they're so excited, and it gives them great hope and stuff like that, and they want to start filling in, getting people to sign papers and stuff like that. It's like, I didn't even say anything to them. I was like, dude, that started in 2016. I'm like, we were already doing that in 2016. It's just so weird in this awakening how something that we were doing all this time back ago. And so there was a whole thing. Right? It was called Cascadia, and they were supposed to be leaving. We were trying to push for it. And it was when he first got in there. And it seemed like, oh, this would be so cool because then we'll be so liberal and so progressive and all this stuff. It's like you look at it so much different once you start seeing the agenda behind what it is they're doing. And so, that guy, but it's weird because that was already going on. And, oh yeah. And right now too, over, I don't know if it's by Buffalo or wherever, up in northern New York, is, they're having a huge snowstorm. So, another one of these like 65 inches to 81 inches coming. But I'm sure they'll freeze people. Surely they don't have a lot of homeless people up there anymore. And then there's a map that's showing all the military activity over here by me. They're definitely, it was showing a helicopter and a plane. And as I said, I've been hearing them and stuff. And you can just tell, like, it just sounds like a military sound sometimes. And then, but it showed on the map. So Florida has a shit ton of activity going. And the person who put the map up said there's never this much going. So Florida had a whole bunch of military activity going, and then kind of going the whole border around. So it was like a lot over here up in the East Coast, over like by the Great Lakes and stuff. But there's supposed to be stuff going, like I don't know if there's ships or battle, like that. I think there would be something going over by the Great Lakes. So there's a whole bunch going on over there. And then kind of like one state in, but otherwise it's just going around the border that where there's all this military, which is like, huh. So is there something coming in from the water that they're watching, or the border, or I don't know. Uh, what the hell. But anyways, that's going on. The snowstorm, the Madrid fault line. Like, there's a lot of stuff going. Yellowstone's popping off. Like, so we got a lot of stuff going on. So, like, I don't know how you can't stay on your toes. Like, everybody's got to stay on their toes and just, go with the flow. And however things go, just keep on going with it. Not trying to fight against it, not getting down when things are, if something comes in and it's still lights, like if a tree comes and crashes in on the house, I can't sit here and cry, well, I finally got my bathroom. It's like more of the, yeah, you got your bathroom. But it's like, that doesn't mean that it's forever or something. So just go with the flow, whatever happens. So even if you just like, because I've seen these kind of things. Well, I just got a brand new car. It's my first one. And then something happens and, a tree falls on it or something. So anything can happen, but when things are being taken from you, there's a reason. It's not just your bad luck. There's a reason for it. There's a reason of something you need to heal, something you need to let go of, or whatever. So just keep going with the flow of how things are moving and whatever's occurring in your life. Just try and look at it, the things deeper. How can this benefit me? How can I make this work for me? What can I get from this? It's going to help me. And so just kind of go at it like that, I would say. And just stay on top of things, because things are going to keep on going. It's going to keep on going until there's a big shift in our world, a big shift of going a completely different direction than what we've been going. And I think it's exciting because I see the direction happening. Like, I see things going in this other direction. So anyways, I think it's exciting and I can't wait. But whatever you do, just remember what you really got to be working on is learning how to love yourself, love everyone, and how to have a loving day, because it's totally up to you. So anyways, I'll talk to you later. Bye.